I'm going to walk over to what has to be the most recent, freshest eruption in southern Nevada. That fissure eruption that you see right there. Also, right here, by the way, there's some great unconformity. Vishnu schist, Zoroaster granite, that it fell onto the back of the Frenchman block over at Gold Butte. So that's what that material is there. So here's some of how it looks. So this would be like your granite, Zoroaster granite. Now this eruption that took place, you can almost tell the season that it had to have been wet. It could have been into water. It could have been snow at the time, because there's a lot of palagonite. Very, very good specimens of palagonite. Look it up. So that shows that this eruption, this stuff here, reached all the way over to here. See, this is the concept of what that fissure eruption would have looked like. Maybe not this massive outflow that you see here, but this is the concept. Fissure eruption, not a typical pointy mountain type volcano with maybe fire bombs or whatever. It wasn't a huge thick basaltic flow, but yeah, there's a lot of good stuff here. So I'm going to walk over there. It's right next to the road. You know, it doesn't get any credit or appreciation. Nobody knows it's there. This great unconformity stuff that dropped onto the back of the Frenchman block when it broke loose, let's say 20 million years ago. It broke loose and then traveled over to Las Vegas. But it kind of shows the surface at the time. See that surface of the sandstone or volcanics there? So over there, Black Butte, which is an extension of Fortification Hill right there, part of the flank of those huge eruptions you see in the background, that also sealed the surface at the time like a hoodoo concept. So you see what the level was there? Much higher. And so that was, what would you think? Earlier or later eruption? Earlier. See, this is much later. See that fissure there? That's how I know that it's a very recent eruption. Look at this material from the bedrock down below us. Look at that. Pegmatite. This stuff here was partially melted. So if you were to drill down right here, you would go through the other stuff, but then you would hit this down deeper. But see, it's on the top of the Frenchman block because it fell there. You just gotta believe me. See this material here? See, those are little hoodoos. It's the temperatures are pretty snaky because when it's super hot, they go down below and they bruminate or germinate, whatever it is that they do. And when it cools off, they go down below. So right now is good temperature, so I'm watching out for snakes. I like to see them But when you want to see them, they're not there. And then when you forget about them, then they jump out. Now that stuff over there, that's the surface upon which this stuff erupted. So now I'm stepping up on the flanks. So all of this material is not other material like from over there, because there's a lot of it. You have to know how to spot it. But this is all erupted from the fissure. And so, see how it is? So this would be like volcanic bombs. You picture that thing sputtering, shooting up stuff, but not huge lava flows, because these fissure eruptions are what's called like reluctant eruptions, that during the extension the basaltic material came up only because the land was being pulled apart. And so a lot of cases they didn't erupt much, like this one didn't. This one didn't. This is kind of like the concept of a cinder cone, but it's linear. So let's look at some of this material. You know, like see there, there wasn't basalt that flowed out like in Hawaii. Also, this erupted after the really huge eruptions over there. They had kind of, you know, spent up all of the pressure and all the material. And so this one, being more recent, is just kind of one of the last in the dying throes of eruptions. But anyways, I mean, this could be 2,000, 5,000 years old, easy. But see the palagonite? Okay, I gotta stop. Now I'm right on the crater rim. Just picture crater rim, but it's a fissure. So just picture a linear crater rim. See those chemicals down there that came up from the magma. When I go down, I'll go down and work along those and film them to see if they're like hydrothermal. But here's the material. Here's material up close. I'm going to go up there. So you see, it wasn't like basalt that flowed out like water, like in Hawaii. You know, it looks like the pressure was already released, and when it flowed out or shot up at cinders, it was partially cooled. You know, I'm not a volcanologist, but let's go up ahead and look. See, when you get up here, it's more extensive than what it looks from the road, which I'll turn around. The road is right there. My van is hidden behind that little berm. That berm is the Vishnu schist, great unconformity, Zoroaster granite that fell down and was washed down onto the back of the Frenchman block. So in other words, I'm right on the edge of the Frenchman block. So I'll go up there. You know, that one there, I can't resist going up there. I just intended to come out and do a quick video and then go back because I have other spots I want to go. But I'm not going to be staring right at that and not go there. You see this mix of stuff, like if you compare it to the videos you see, you picture in a cinder cone, a volcanic eruption, where down the side is tumbling stuff like this. It's tumbling down, it's red hot, but it's breaking apart, and it's like that. That's what this would have been doing. Except obviously I'm right on the top of it, so